All right. Roll call.
Vice Chair Burton, Board Member Richard Letman,
Present.
Chairman Price, Member Reed McNally.
Present.
You have a quorum.
In our packet are minutes.
None for me. Mr. Chairman, I'll move for approval of the July 20th, 2022 meeting minutes.
Do I hear a second?
I wasn't here for those, so I don't know if those are correct or not.
Okay, I guess I'll second for the sake of Robert's rules. All those indicated approval, aye.
Aye.
Nay? None. Okay, in regards to September 23rd, 22.
That looks good.
Okay.
I move for approval of the minutes for September 23rd, 2022.
And again, I wasn't present for those, so I'm going to
Okay,
not
well,
have a voice on that.
I'll second that too. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Okay, we'll next item is the item 5, evaluation of a request for a variance to section 35, setbacks and area requirements of the Mojave County zoning ordinance per section 41 to allow for a 5-foot rear yard setback to construct a garage on assessor's parcel number 402-59035H in the Beaver Dam vicinity, Mojave County, Arizona. Staff wants to present on that.
Evaluation of a request for a variance to Section 35, setbacks and area requirements of the Mojave County zoning ordinance for Section 41 to allow for a 5-foot rear yard setback to construct a garage on assessor's parcel number 402-59035H in the Beaver Dam vicinity. The applicant requests this variance to allow for a 5-foot rear setback for construction of a garage. The applicant has identified receiving misinformation regarding setback distance and area location of the subject property and proceeded to purchase garage plans to construct in the rear yard. On corner lots, the shorter side of the lot is presumed to be the front of the lot. The subject property is smaller than other newer lots in the vicinity. The smaller lot, in addition to being a corner lot, creates a smaller allowable buildable area than other lots in the vicinity. A recent amendment to the Mojave County zoning ordinance was approved to allow for a reduction of setbacks of secondary frontages for main structures to encourage detached garages to be placed further away from intersections. There are other lots in the vicinity that are able to accommodate a detached garage without a variance due to a larger building envelope than the subject property allows. The adjacent lot has a 5-foot yard setback where the applicant's 5-foot rear setback is being requested. Staff has found the reduced lot size and buildable area appears to be a special circumstance or condition that applies to this property that does not apply to most other properties in the vicinity. The granting of the application will not materially affect the health or safety of persons residing or working in the neighborhood. It appears that substantial conformity to standards previously established in the zone will be secured. It does not appear the detriment or injury to the neighborhood will result from granting of this variance as applied for. Staff recommends approval per standard conditions.
Thank you. I understand the applicant is on, is it Teams? Open the public hearing at this point. Does the applicant want to address the board?
Really, everything that was just said is, I think it pretty well spells it all out. I went forth with getting the plans for this based on information I was given a little over a year ago when they were here at Beaver Dam. And then we went to get the permit, found out that was incorrect. The lot is basically the side lot or the rear lot. It's hard to build anything on there if I have to adhere to that 10-foot setback.
Mr. Bolden, could you
sir.
identify yourself for the purpose of the minutes?
James Bolden.
Okay, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is James Bolden. And that's all I have to say. Hello?
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you now.
Okay, good. Is there anybody else to address this agenda item? Okay, at this point, I'll close the public hearing portion of it. What say the committee or the board?
Okay, so I'll go ahead and make a motion, Mr. Chairman, based upon to us today, and I agree with the staff recommendation and move that the applicant be granted variance for section 41F.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? All those in favor indicate aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. All right. Thank you very much. Wish you the best to Mr. Bolden.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Thank
would
you very much.
recommend an amendment to the motion to include the standard conditions as proposed by staff.
I'll move to amend my motion for the attorney's recommendation.
Second?
Okay. All in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none?
Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Keep us straight. All right. Going on to item 6. Does staff want to take that?
Item 6 is an evaluation of a request for a variance to Section 35 setbacks and area requirements of the Mojave County zoning ordinance per Section 41 to allow for a 5-foot setback along a secondary frontage to construct an RV garage and driveway on assessor's parcel number 12047-004 in the Lake Havasu vicinity, Mojave County, Arizona. The applicant requests this variance to allow for a 5-foot secondary frontage setback from the property line adjacent to Drury Lane. The applicant has identified concerns about staff citing incorrect setback information, access from Drury Lane, existing lot conditions, and the limitation of setbacks of the subject property as reason to require the reduction in setback requirements. The subject property is a corner lot and has 2 roadway frontages. Due to the lot configuration and the location of the home, the applicant states that it is not feasible to reduce the width of the proposed RV garage to accommodate setback requirements for a garage parallel to a secondary frontage. The required 10-foot setback would reduce the width of the proposed RV garage to 13 feet with a 10-foot garage door. The applicant states that most RVs have a wheelbase and overhang of somewhere between 9'6" inches and 10 feet, making the building difficult to use as intended. It is important to note that a majority of the lots in this subdivision only require a 5-foot side yard setback, as they are not subject to the secondary frontage constraints. The following is staff's analysis of this request. The subject property has a reduced rear yard area due to the radius of the adjacent cul-de-sac, which in turn pushed the location of the home closer to the opposite side property line to maximize space for a backyard and to accommodate setback requirements for the home. Staff has found that the lot configuration in comparison to other lots in the area appears to be a special circumstance or condition applying to this property that does not prevail on other properties in the area. It does appear that the strict application of the regulations would result in a hardship for this property owner, and that the granting of the application allows for the preservation and enjoyment of substantial existing property rights. The granting of the application will not materially affect the health or safety of persons residing or working in the neighborhood, and it does not appear that the granting of the application would be materially detrimental to the public welfare or injurious to property or improvements in the neighborhood. Staff has received 2 letters of opposition and 1 letter of support to date. Staff recommends approval of this request, subject to the standard conditions.
Thank you. Okay, now we'll open the public hearing portion of it. Does the applicant wish to address this first, or? And as you speak, if you can just identify yourself for the purpose of the minutes, it would be greatly appreciated.
It never works how you want it to work. Do you mind if I move this over a little closer? Yeah, I can help you. What I have here is a,
Sir, we need your name and city, please.
oh, I'm sorry. My name is Dwight Kramer. I am the project manager for Sabre Building Corp. We are probably perhaps the largest builder of RV garages in Arizona. We have 112 of them under our belt. What I have, okay, now we got that done. What I have here is a satellite view, which I'm not sure is probably smaller than the one we saw up on the screens. But what I wanted to point out was that this is a subject property right here. This is Westminster Road, and this is Drury Lane. It's important to note that Drury Lane only services one property. Otherwise, that's the only comings and goings along Drury Lane. I have a list prepared of all the other streets in the subdivision, and they all service anywhere from 3 to 32 properties. So I can distribute that if anyone would like to see them. But we are, our point here is that this is really almost stretching the imagination to call this a street, because the street usually is to service, provide common access to multiple properties. This does not do that. There's only one property here who uses that street. That is owned by Mike and Karen Nance, who are here today in back of us, and they have also written a letter of support. Right along this wall here, it's hard to see on the picture, but along here there is a 5-foot masonry fence, so masonry wall, so that will help screen this from traffic, and to, I think, impose a 10-foot side street setback on a street that's not really a street is, I think, just kind of using your imagination. The real purpose, the real function of Drury Lane, it's a very fancy, very nice, but it basically functions as a driveway, and not as a street. So that's about most of my comments. I did notice one thing in the staff. I think there was probably a late letter of support which was received. There are actually 2. I can address the letters of opposition quite briefly if you would like to hear what we have to say about them. But I don't, and I guess I just at this point like to ask if you have any other
Any questions from the commission?
Yeah, I'd like your point of view on the letters, the anonymous letters of opposition.
Okay. Well, the letters of opposition seem to, the main reason for opposition is that they make the point that if you approve this variance, then you're somehow duty-bound to approve all the other variances. That is just an incorrect statement. You guys know, as well as I know, a former Board of Adjustment member in Lake Havasu, that each application is evaluated on a case-by-case basis, and it is evaluated on the merits of the application. If you see, I should have distributed my street list, but Drury Lane is the only street in all of the subdivision that only services one property. So you will never see another lot, another variance with this particular set of circumstances from this subdivision. It just can't exist. So that's really not a legitimate concern. The other concern was that there would be view obstruction, and I didn't dig them out because I didn't know I was going to go there, but we have additional photographs which show that this project will not cause any view obstruction. Let me go get those quickly. This is the,
You're going to have to get closer to the mic, I have a feeling, so you can have a complete record.
mic and easel at the same time.
Maybe move the easel back a little bit or something without dropping it.
This photograph was taken from the front yard of this property here. So you can see the new construction would be way over here. There is no view corridor. There is no view there. The property you're seeing here is the Nance property, and that is the property that's located at that location. So there's no view obstruction from this property. The next picture I'm going to show you is the one that was taken from the front of this property. So again, the new building would rise approximately here. So again, there's no view obstruction. So that's, again, not really a legitimate point. Even were it so, I'm not sure that it's the county's responsibility to protect views. But in this case, it's not necessary. There are no views there to protect. Any further questions?
Yeah, I just want to reconfirm the HOA inside that neighborhood has approved this.
Yes, they have. I have a full copy of the approval, the application and the approval and everything with me. I didn't make up 8 copies. I didn't make up a bunch of copies because they're 8 pages long. But I have that with me. If anyone would like to look at it or read it.
And we'll take your word.
Pardon?
We'll take your word.
Okay, I just had one thing. This is a full application here. As you can see, it goes through quite a bit of stuff. It says that the cover letter, the last the last sentence of the cover letter, I think, is kind of important. It says, "We appreciate your cooperation in submitting this request. As we agree, an attractive community helps build property value throughout the community." That is from Terry Fleischer, who is on the Architectural Committee. This is available for anyone to look through if you would like to do so.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend for the preservation of the record that they be entered to the clerk.
Okay, sure. What the attorney is saying is, we like a copy as part of our record.
Well, you can have it. Who should I give it to?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Get fancy legal terms here. But
Any other questions?
I don't have any question.
okay, thank you very much. Anyone else to present on behalf of this agenda item? Okay, seeing none, public hearing is now closed. What say ye?
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the variance as requested, subject to the standard conditions.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor indicate aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it so carries. Being no further